Tell me about your boxing journey. When did you know that boxing was for you?
In the pros, we've got 10, and then in the amateurs, there's 40, and then in the recreational, there's 100.
My dad, because we didn't have much help when I was young, we used to just travel sparring. So my dad would take me to different gyms, and I would just out of house spar.
It's slightly different for most people.
Yeah.
It can be absolutely wounding. You know, I've had fighters, but don't deal with it well at all. He had an opponent pulled out because he got nicked on the way to the weigh-in, so we had to get a new opponent.
The day before the weigh-in.
This episode of All Things Business, the podcast, is brought to you by digital media partner DFA Law. DFA Law, providers of expert and dedicated legal advice to businesses and families since 1838. DFA Law, the law firm for life.
Gents, welcome to the podcast.
Excellent.
Yeah?
Yeah, welcome.
A bit of enthusiasm.
To the gym.
Yeah.
We're not used to this.
Happy.
Well, for those that are listening and not watching, we're in a boxing ring. So this is, first of all, a first for me, because I definitely haven't been in a boxing ring before doing a podcast. We're in the heart of Northampton, but before we go into that, just introduce yourself. Let's start with you, James.
I'm James Conway, founder of Team ShoeBox.
Yeah, I'm Eithan James, former European champion and professional boxer.
I'm Charlie Hamilton, professional boxer, former national champion.
Brilliant. So we've got security sorted, James. Nothing's going to kick off today. James, you and I met probably a year ago.
Yeah.
And I just fell in love with the journey about Team ShoeBox, really.
Yeah.
So I'm conscious that within the boxing world, Team ShoeBox is very well known, but probably the wider business community of Northamptonshire and Milton Keynes and a bit further afield, probably not so. So where did it all begin?
Oh, you want me to go where it all began?
Well, give us that summary to bring us up to sort of current day, because we're in the gym, which is basically a converted industrial unit.
Yeah, it's just
which is next door to Northamptonshire Raw Dog Food, and it's just on the edge of the Lodge Farm, isn't it?
That's it. Yeah, dead opposite the Hart Pub.
That's it.
So that's
where
why
we'll probably
we
go afterwards. But so yeah, where did it all start for you?
Okay, so I'd done a bit of boxing as a kid myself, sort of the age of 14 to 16, and my old boxing coach, I packed in boxing, tried to think I was good at football, but that didn't work out either. And then when I was quite young, we had our first child, me and my wife. That's Kieran, who worked out to be an okay boxer as well. So we, Arthur come round my house one day, he was my old boxing coach, to buy a dog off my wife. Yeah, I know it sounds absolutely mad.
Sounds like something out of Snap.
Yeah, and the plot absolutely thickens, right? Because it was Kieran's best mate's dad from school.
But you didn't know at the time?
No, I didn't know. So little Sam used to come around our house, have dinner and all that, and I didn't realise that Arthur was his dad. So, because his mum used to pick him up. So then, he went, "What are you doing here?" Well, I live here, what are you doing here? Sort of thing. And it was like, he went, "Oh, you need to get out of the gym and give me a hand." And that was when he had the old gym, or the second old gym, because when I boxed, it was in High Street in Kingsford, and then it moved to near BB Old Boys under the Working Men's Club down there.
Yeah.
And at the time, Alf was going through a process of that gym was shutting down. So he went, "Yeah, come and give me a hand." And then a few months later, I was on crutches at the time actually because I got injured playing football. So a few months later, Kieran had always pestered me to go boxing. And
How old was Kieran at this point?
Kieran would have been 11. And he was a brown belt at karate. And I didn't want him to box, I wanted to do karate, literally just because I didn't think he had the right ingredients to box. I'm not saying he was a mummy's boy, but he was,
Notice that Kieran ain't here.
Yeah. he hadn't been
around.
brought up like that, quite protective, wouldn't let him play out in the streets, stuff like that, So he was quite sheltered. But he'd always pestered me to box. And I think that probably come from being best mates with Sam. But, he didn't sort of tell me any of this at the time. So, Arthur was pestering me, saying, come and give me a hand. He kept coming around seeing the dogs because they wasn't born at the time, they were puppies. And so he could come and see the mum and dad, then he'd come and visit the dogs as we was bringing them up for the first few weeks. And he'd say, come on, get them boys at the gym, because I had two sons around that sort of age. Ryan was 10 and Kim was 11. So I was like, just want him to do the karate, you know, in the back of my head thinking, I'll take him boxing and he'll probably won't like it. You know?
Yeah.
So I ended up giving in, started taking him boxing, and I was going, come on, give me a hand and all that sort of stuff. And then all of a sudden, years later, this is where we are. It's sort of like, it was a pretty mad journey, to be honest, all the way.
So as you walk in, obviously the ring's the most dominant thing here, but then you look upstairs, you've got a converted office classroom for the guys to work from.
Yep.
You've got some gym equipment up there. I love the graffiti, you know, a nod to the town, etc.
Yeah.
How long have you been here?
To get the unit, what actually happened was we spoke to Guy Loveland from S&D Paving. At the time, they were sponsoring Kieran, and we used to go and see him quite regular. He had a unit just round the corner from where we are now, so we used to go and see him quite regular, giving updates on Kieran, and we were looking for a new premise to train out of.
Yeah.
We'd sort of like outstayed our time at the old gym.
Outgrew.
Yeah, at King's Heath, where we had some great times, you know, great journey there over 10, 11 years. Product of that is probably sitting to my left now, some of the product of that. So fantastic times there, but it was just time to move on. It started getting a little bit stale with some of the members there, and we just wanted to just try something a little bit different. And Arthur was going to go and open a pub, you know, and we weren't going to hang about there. We'd leave the gym to the community and let them sort of develop it. So me and Kieran was like looking for somewhere to go where we could just train. It was going to really be just myself, Kieran, and at the time I had another guy who was an assistant called Alex.
Yeah.
He's now with Matchroom Boxing, so he's come a long way as well since them days. But we spoke to Guy. He helped us get this unit, so we sublet off him. And then...
Big supporters, haven't they? Because I noticed from I don't know Guy or the business, but I know the logo, and you associate that with, obviously, with Kieran, but you see it obviously on some of the boxers when they're fighting. So...
He's not popular, he's busy because he digs the roads up all around Northampton. So everyone wants to kill S&D Paving usually.
What, because of the potholes?
Yes, that's it. So, but yeah, they're very busy, but I wouldn't say they're a popular company, but he's been absolutely fantastic to us and to Kieran, to be fair. And he helped us get this building sort of like back end of 2019.
Yeah.
He got us a lease, and he extended the lease for us as well.
Fantastic.
He moved us in here, he helped us do all the work in here as well, all the office, the toilets, the showers, etc. So he's been a really good supporter of ours.
Yeah, and I noticed a couple of other logos that are around here, H2O and Latimer as well.
Yeah.
That obviously play a big part, but S&D have been a big part of your journey so far.
Yeah, they've been the main reason. Without S&D, we wouldn't be here, and I think Kieran feels the same about S&D Paving Sport in his career as well. You know, they've always looked after him. No,
brilliant, and that's where that relationship between business and sport is so well aligned.
Yeah,
I'm involved in Sports Aid locally, which get together we do 3 lunches a year, but the money raised from that always goes to an athlete, and it's always somebody that, and when you listen to them, I don't know, it might be a swimmer that's training to be in the Olympics, and then you look at their schedule and they're going and doing an hour and a half swimming before they go to school.
Yeah,
these are like 15, 16-year-old kids, but the parents are the ones that are getting up at 4:30 in the morning with them to make sure they can get there. And they're doing that 3 days a week, and then they've got the galas and stuff at the weekend.
Yeah.
And I dare say it's the same for boxers. I'm going to bring in Eithan now. So, first time I've met you today.
Yeah.
But I know your old man, although I haven't seen him for a few years.
You know the family.
And your cousin as well. I mean, he would have knocked a few people out over the years, but that would have been on the rugby field.
Yeah, he did a bit of UFC for a while as well.
Actually, he did.
I think he was British champ at one point in
MMA. He did do that for a couple of years, didn't he? Obviously, before he had the baby and stuff. But yeah, so Ryan will be known to many people probably because I think he was captain at Wellingborough before he went to Kettering, and he played East Mids as well. And
he was a very good rugby player.
Very good all-round sportsman. So that obviously runs in the family gene.
Yeah, I was a good rugby player as well. I was in the States Academy when I was younger.
Were you?
Yeah, my height just didn't go with it. I was a little midget back then.
What position were you?
What do you think I played?
No, because you might...
Flanker.
No.
Yeah,
really?
Yeah.
I would have said you was a back.
Honestly, right?
I was small and tiny.
You meet people around the town, and they all go, "He was such a little." When he played rugby.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Had that little bit in you?
That's why I liked it. I just used to, that position was just, you just nail anyone. And
well, that was the job, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Or is the job. So tell me about your boxing journey. When did you know that boxing was for you?
Oh, so for me, it started when I was a naughty kid in primary school.
Where did you go to school?
East Sunsbury Primary School.
Yeah.
That's where it started when I was about 6, 7. And 6, 7.
6, 7.
Yeah, I did.
My son's gonna love that.
Yeah. So I was a bit of a pain in the head for all the teachers, but in primary school, I feel like I outgrew it. I was I say more mature. I just didn't really like primary school. I wanted to go to secondary school quite quickly, and at the time I had a PE teacher. He passed away sadly. I never got to go back and thank him for everything. But yeah. So if I behave, what was
his name?
Mr. Rose. I think his name was David. David Rose. So yeah, I started in primary school. If I behaved for the whole week because I was a little naughty shit, I get to do pads and golden time. So if
with Mr. Rose, what, on a Friday or something?
That's it. Friday time at lunchtime, I get to go and do pads in the hall while everyone else is playing on the playground. And then after a while, he thought there was a little bit to me. Obviously, he didn't know any potential, but he said, "Look, there's Farcott in here. Go start there. They might help you out."
How old was this? How old were you then?
About 8 then. 7,
Really?
8. Yeah. So started my amateur journey there. Got to 13, moved to Kings Heath, and then the rest was history then. With James and Arthur, won multiple national titles, Europeans, Commonwealth golds, and then it took on to the pro ranks for me from there.
So talk me through your a typical week, because you're full time, yeah?
Yeah.
So what's a typical week for you?
Well, when I first started out, I turned pro down in London because there was, like James said, this is quite new in terms of pro gyms in Northampton. So I turned over down London with I don't know if anyone knows them, but a coach called Al Smith and Eddie Lamb. There wasn't really a big pro scene at the time here, so I turned pro down there, got a contract, and at the time I was working, so it was a bit hard for working, travelling to London 3 days a week. And within a year down there, they were the best, but I needed something that suited me. And at the time, I was with James. James, as an amateur, done everything for me. I knew we worked well together. So I spoke to him, he was setting this up, and it just sort of fell in place at the right time. I come back and moved back up here, so I could work now and then, come to the gym, and it was just a lot easier, do you know what I mean?
So where do you live now?
Still in Northampton.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
And
with his mum and dad.
Yeah.
Gav, you ain't going to be leaving Gav anytime soon, mate.
I don't want to leave, free living. So.
And so Monday morning, what does that look like for you in here?
So yeah, my normal week now is wake up in the mornings, go and do my runs on a Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
How far are you running?
Different sort of runs depending on where I'm in camp. Normally 5Ks or like routine scheduled runs, intervals and stuff, depending on how far I'm at in camp. And then back here at nights on Monday, Wednesdays and Fridays, sparring Sundays.
And Thursdays.
Thursday mornings, yeah, as well.
A little bit of an agility thing.
Yeah.
And what about when you next fighting?
I'm back out March 21st fighting for another title to get back on track.
So what will your camp look like for that? Is that like a 6-8 week camp?
We've been in camp all the way since October, because I was in, well, not for this fight, but I was in for end of December. So just stayed in over Christmas thinking it was going to be early, and then it's now March. So just been ticking over, but the real hard work starts in about a week's time, 2 weeks.
You step it up.
Yeah.
And is that do you do that plan with him, James?
Yeah, kind of. We're sort of like, he's got a conditioner, S&C guy, Reese, that we work with. He's like fancy PhDs and all that sort of stuff. He's pretty good at what he does. So we speak to him, get a program that aligns along with our boxing schedule. So we're sorting out sparring partners, what day we're going to spar, what day we're going to have hard days, easy days. It sort of stays the same usually because we know it works. So like it'll be an easier day on a Monday. A Tuesday would be a bit of S&C for Eve. A Wednesday would be a harder day, or a pretty hard day, probably the hardest of the week. A Thursday we sort of do a little bit of tapping out again, just cooling it down.
Tapping out. Just sounds horrendous.
Friday we pick it up again a little bit more, not too much. Saturday they rest, then they spar on a Sunday.
I mean, I'm gonna come on to Charlie now. So because Northamptonshire is a bit of a hotbed really for decent boxers.
He's done well.
We've got a real and
started to pick up over the pro scene's definitely started to pick up over the last 6 to 8 years. I think.
All the old Kings Heath amateurs are going pro, and they've been going pro over the last sort of 10 years.
Yeah,
and it's picking up, and now we're developing our own. It's sort of like it really is picking up.
And there's obviously a bit of a Wellingborough connection. And your dad's got a business, hasn't he, in Wellingborough, J&D Mobility, yeah?
Yeah, they've been there. Well, it was my granddad's and my grandma's at the time, and then him and his sister took it over when his dad passed away and everything. So they've been there for God knows how long, but still in the town centre and that, still staying there.
Yeah, brilliant. And then we've got Charlie, who's Higham Ferrers you live in.
Yeah,
Higham Ferrers. I did say about a story before we started filming it. Higham Ferrers for posh people for that side of the county. So tell us about your journey, because you're 21 soon.
Yeah, 21 in March. 21 in March, so 20 now. And I started when I was 10, about 10 years old, 9 years old I would say actually. And I'll just go to my dad's flat, and my dad would always have boxing on the TV.
Who was your earliest memory of watching on the telly?
I remember Golovkin, but when he was coming up.
Wow.
Like, I remember Golovkin, but when he wasn't Triple G, like, I remember, that's what I remember mainly, because he stood up.
And then it just got you hooked in.
Yeah, like I just said, I wanted to box. I was playing football at the time, and I was quite good. I don't mean to brag, but I was
Who were you playing for?
I was West Brom. I was a good footballer.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, but my brothers had boxed in the past. None of them turned pro or nothing like that, but they had boxed. So I was just saying to my dad, I want to box. Like, I wanted to, get in there.
Yeah. And so when did you come across James, or when did James come across you?
I come down to Bedford. James and his son, they were doing their thing in a gym in Bedford, Branks Gym.
Yeah.
And my dad, because we didn't have much help when I was young, we used to just travel sparring. So my dad would take me to different gyms, and I would just out of house spar. And we come down to his gym, and I sparred down there. That's when I met him.
So, and on the sparring, because I've got so many, I love my sport, right? But I was having this conversation with somebody over Christmas around what's the hardest sport in terms of being an elite level, in terms of how you look after yourself. And I think boxing is that, but not just because of how fit you've got to be, but the discipline. Because you're sparring, you can't go full throttle, can you? I know you wear obviously you've got extra protection.
Tell Ben Vaughan that.
Who's better? What, really?
One of our boxers.
Oh, really? Is he a bit but that's what I mean. Like, do you go into it where you go full throttle? Because if you don't, you're almost, you could get hurt. A bit like in football training or rugby training, or do you just go in like 75%?
You have to go in there with the intention that you're fighting someone, and I know it's still a spar, but if you're not going in there with the mindset that you would in a fight, you're gonna get beat up.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's levels in like how hard you're gonna go, but if you're getting on top of someone, you can back off a little bit, but you're still in there doing what you want to be doing in the ring, really. So
Does it boil over sparring?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Not all the time.
I would say like I've never experienced an easy spar in this gym before. it's always just fighting. Honestly, it's just I say it's a fight behind closed doors.
Okay, so I'll just have a quick.
Mainly out the gym, gyms that come over.
Yeah.
It'll kick
Outside,
off more, if anything.
Outsiders, it gets a little bit more intense when they're sparring between themselves. They're sort of like because
it's a bit of a brotherhood. Yeah.
You don't want to start kicking the shit out of someone when you see them on the daily.
Stop swearing.
So,
That's all right.
keep it in, it's fine.
But sometimes you have to spar how you're going to compete. You can't. It's not a switch. You have to develop and get characteristics. So
have you two sparred together?
Yeah, plenty of times.
Loads of times, yeah.
Yeah.
So when you're
who wins?
Me.
So
Nah, me. Don't.
All right. Where's that
Don't listen to it. Don't listen.
So with in terms of gym club, is it like that sort of brotherhood? Because now, how many have you got now, James?
In the pros, we've got 10, and then in the amateurs there's 40, and then in the recreational there's 100 plus. Do you know?
See, I find that's amazing.
And there's also kids classes there's 20 kids in there. They're all quite close.
And what age are they starting at?
So we can take them in from 7-8 year old, and then we sort of like turn them into a carded session when they're about 11, if they want to. Otherwise, they can stay in the development session. You know, not everyone has to compete. Not everyone has to spar. We don't spar anyone until they're medicaled anyway. So it's always a choice. But the ones that want to push on, they're like a little brotherhood, like what you say. You know, there's a load of 11, 12, 13-year-olds that are like best mates. They all have sleepovers now. Do you know what I mean? They're like schoolmates, and they go and follow each other around.
No, I love it because it's that camaraderie. Because even though it's a single sport in terms of an individual.
See, I don't see it as.
Really?
Yeah, because you can't compete without a corner team. So you can't just rock up on your own. So,
good point. and again, this is someone that's obviously not a boxer, but I do love my boxing.
Yeah.
But then I also think about sometimes when you watch those Saturday night fights where you've got a corner team that are looking after, say, 3 fighters on that card.
Yeah.
And I've always thought, what about that third fighter? Because his corner team have perhaps 2 or 3 of those guys have had to concentrate on the other 2 fighters beforehand. So what's he going through at that stage?
That's why you need a good, strong team. So, you know, you can all move around and so people can take responsibility to either stay back or work with somebody, wrap the hands while the others are at the ringside or something.
Yeah.
So you'd never sort of leave people on their own. There's always somebody, a
Who's
friendly
gonna be with
face
them.
with
Yeah,
you
yeah.
all the time, trying to take your mind off it.
We're Cottons Group, accountants who go beyond the numbers to support the people behind each business. Trusted across the Midlands and further afield for over 40 years, we bring clarity, confidence, and practical advice that saves you money. From tax and annual accounts to payroll, self-assessment, and buying or selling a company, we're with you at every stage. Cottons Group, real advice for real businesses. Visit cottonsgroup.com to learn more.
And what about the sport? Because I noticed upstairs here you've got, you know, an office come classroom, if you like.
Yeah.
Are the guys here learning essentially on the job as well, or are there any qualifications or anything like that that's going alongside it?
Yeah, so what we've started to do now, we've bring an academy element, so like a football academy.
Yeah.
So basically we've got some 16 to 18-year-olds and they're coming in, they're training like full-time pros or elite amateurs. So they're in here, they do a session, we go up there, we do a bit of learning, they watch a lot of videos on nutrition, we do an NCFE, so they're working. But their first assignment was actually putting together a event. So what we done, they ran the boxing show that we ran just before Christmas. So they had to make the posters, they had to get the tickets designed, they had to do the budget for it, they had to choose the food, they had to help us with the booklet, getting sponsors in.
Yeah.
So they actually experienced putting an event on just with
I
our
love that.
help.
So we do a lot of work within education. So we founded the Education Awards for Northamptonshire and for Milton Keynes. And sometimes I'll go in and do assemblies in schools or speak to class groups. And I did this once, and we started talking about logistics, because Northamptonshire is a bit of a hotbed for logistics for obvious reasons, yeah?
That's why we can't get a new unit, because everyone keeps taking them.
And then you look at logistics, and kids rightly just think that it's lorries and warehouses, but it's not. And then you sort of do a spidergram, and it comes out, and you talk about HR and PR and warehouse management and IT, and all the jobs that come off of that are associated with logistics. And it's exactly the same here, I suppose, because there comes a point where you are going to have to hold the gloves up, or hang the gloves up, should I say, sorry.
Yeah.
What do you do after that?
Yeah.
Just on that, have you thought about that yet? I mean, I don't want to, like, what do you think life might look like for you once you've...
I'm hoping to win the lottery and retire. But do you know what? I have
Or fight Jake Paul.
Well, I'll get a big payday. But no, I've not really looked into it at the moment. I'm just focusing on my career. I've got a lot of home problems going on, getting through those. So just going with the flow and see what happens.
And what does success look like for you, mate, in terms of world title fight? Is it what level? Where do you think you can go and by when?
Career-wise, definitely, like everyone says it, world level, world honours and stuff like that. But personally, just to be able to provide for my family, get a house, and not have to have worries for them when they're older.
Yeah, good lad. And what about you, mate? When first of all, when's your next fight?
We're looking at April.
Yeah.
But I haven't got an official fight date yet, but we're looking at April.
When it comes to match fight, and I'm going to come on to the camp as well, I imagine there's lots of moving parts, lots of variables about finding a fight. Do you sort out the fights for...
More so with these two, because I also manage them.
Yeah.
So I'm quite proactive with that, because I've not been doing it that long, really, and I'm quite busy with it. Like I try and put them out there. I don't just wait for something to happen.
Yeah.
I try and like dig around a little bit. Who's looking for? Well, what could we do? Whether I'll get bored of that at some point, I don't know. But at the minute, I actually love it, and I really want to push them and progress them. But
When I used to do a bit of coaching and managing, I always used to love finding fixtures for pre-season, because in football you'd never play somebody in your league, and you didn't want to play anybody beneath you. You wanted to go. So I used to do some weird stuff, like right off to Valencia to see if we could get an away trip as well and see if like we could play their B team. We never did it, by the way, but Pontypridd did, and I went over just to sort of for the crack to see what it was like. But you have to aim big in terms of who, because you wanted to test yourself as well, but also impress the boys in terms of having a good pre-season. How many fights realistically could these boys have this year?
So both are in different stages. So it really is different. Like you're probably looking at Eithan with the longer fights, the longer camps, getting himself ready.
Realistically, twice?
High pressure. I'd like to think 3 times a year. I'd like to think him 3 times a year. He'd probably like to box 3 times a year as well, because financially, obviously, you only get paid when you fight. Whereas someone like Charlie, who's developing, he's coming up, he's come out the amateurs probably having 10 3-3s a year. He's now going into the pros where he's doing 4 3s. He could, in effect, have 6 fights.
4 3s. Sorry, just for those that don't know what 4 3s are.
4 3-minute
rounds.
Don't
say 12.
4 3-minute rounds. Okay. So he's come out the amateurs where he was doing 3-minute rounds.
Yeah.
And going through a championship, you're probably going to fight 7 or 8 times, box a couple of club shows. He might be in 2 championships a year, so you're probably boxing 10 times.
How big has the step up been, Charlie? I know it's not been very long, but
Yeah.
From being amateur,
It's mainly just the pressure. I feel a lot more pressure to win a fight now than I do in the amateurs. I mean, I always wanted to win, but now if you lose, you know, you're in a bad situation. So that's the biggest difference for me. And stylistically, there is a difference. Like, people say there's a difference, and I didn't really listen, but there definitely is a difference. I mean, you can sit down on your shots and you got more time. It's more like you see things clearer. I don't know if it's just because my style suits it, but I definitely prefer fighting as a professional than to the amateurs. Everything's rushed in the amateurs. Like, you got no time to do it. When the bell goes, you got to be straight on him. Whereas now it's like, I can have a look, I can jab him, you know.
Is it a bit? Would it be right in saying that a bit like what they say with semi-pro? It's all a bit 100 mile an hour. Whereas the higher the level you play, a bit more time on the ball.
Yeah.
Would that be a fair analogy?
Yeah, I'd say it's similar to that. Yeah, it's, you know, you definitely can have a look and sort of work your way into a bout. But you got to be ready because, you know, even though it's the pros, someone can just stick it on you and you got to fight. So
I say I'm big into my mental health. I've had mental health challenges over the years for different reasons, which I won't bore you with. But I think men definitely don't talk enough. I think that's even though it's spoken about more, I still think there are plenty of men that don't. To pick up on something that you said there, mate, about it would be really bad and you feel more pressure. I think I know the answer to this, but when one of the lads in the gym has a loss, is it a case of everyone sort of getting around and picking them up because at some point they've all been there on that low point, and then is it a case of literally just getting back in the gym and getting on to the next fight, or is it a case of actually you perhaps need a couple of weeks off and just go and chill out?
Right, so this is slightly different for most people.
Yeah.
It can be absolutely wounding. You know, I've had fighters but don't deal with it well at all. But others, they just brush it off, walk back through them doors, and the first thing that happens is everyone takes the piss. Literally, because that's the way that you help cope with it. Everyone's been there, and nobody wants each other to go through that. So they try and make it as, I don't know, it's not, the word isn't fun, but they try and just break the ice and get it done out the way as quick as possible. Because
that is massive in this gym.
It is. Yeah. In this gym, I think, you know, more so than most gyms, there is more of a comedy element. You know, someone will walk through that door. You cannot get away with anything in this gym. But I think it breaks the ice and it makes everyone closer, more bonded. No one treads on eggshells. Do you
know, God bless him, Ricky Hatton, when he fought Mayweather, and I think that was one of those fights where, I mean, you two are probably too young, or you probably definitely, I don't know about you, mate, but everyone remembers where they were when. It was one of those moments.
Yeah.
And I was going up to Southport for his homecoming, which would have been his first like public appearance.
Yeah.
And we had a table up there. And of course, because he lost, you know, he took 30,000 over there and nobody thought he was, I mean, everyone knew it would be a good fight, but we perhaps didn't realise he was going to get knocked out the way he did. And he walked on stage in front of 500-600 people and he broke the ice and he took the mick with a one-liner like he did about how Floyd knocked him out, and he looked up and next thing he knows in Southport, and that was his humour. But I've always thought that because you guys are so strong physically, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're strong mentally.
100%.
And vice versa. People can be very strong mentally, but they definitely couldn't come and do what you boys do day in, day out.
Yeah.
So no, I was intrigued to ask that. So Charlie, what does it look like for you, mate? What does the next 5 years look like for you? You got a magic wand.
Yeah, I'll just say win absolute every fight I get put into. I'm definitely not trying to lose any fights. The next 5 years, I want to win everything. Even if that means I'm fighting for area English or even British. I'd say 5 years, should be fine.
So where are you now in the pyramid? Again, using a football analogy, but in the pyramid scheme. I mean, Eithan you're on the fringe of worlds, yeah?
It's building up back to like British and then European level. So my next fight's for a European title, but
okay.
Obviously still just got to build through the rankings. But I believe I can be world level on my day.
Yeah. So correct me if I'm wrong here, but and no pressure added. But if you were to win your next 3, for example, because it would almost be level up, which realistically could happen over the next 12 to 18 months. 2020, end of 27, beginning of 28, you could be fighting for a world title shot.
Yeah, potentially. Right fights at right time, right rankings, right places.
So, and it comes back to those variables. You need a little bit of luck, but you need it to all fall into place.
Yeah, it's like in any sport. I feel like boxing is very, very business orientated. So if you're helping everyone else out and you're a big commodity, they're going to push you. People are going to get you in the right places, and I feel like if you benefit them, that can push you on. But at the end of the day, you still got to win the fights and get there.
You said something earlier about how many fights could Charlie have. Charlie, in theory, could fight every month, but this is where the business side comes in. Can he sell the tickets to get his spot on the show? Yeah. And that's what absolutely kills a lot of the prospects coming through. So
say there's going to be business owners or senior business people watching, listening to this at the minute, right? How could they support? Is it a case of, I mean, listen, every sports club, and obviously we're blessed with lots of different sports clubs in Northamptonshire. Yes, they all want a cheque to be written for them, but this seems different. If you go and look at your relationship with S&D Paving, for example, they've gone on and made a real difference. They're on this journey with you. How could a business get involved and support either Team ShoeBox or, for example, Charlie or Eithan? How can they do that?
So what S&D done for Kieran is they gave him a monthly wage since he went professional, and they still pay him to this day. That eased everything. Without that, he wouldn't be where he is now. That enabled him to train full time. That's why he plasters their logo all over everything he does. He thanks them non-stop.
So literally sort of adding an employee onto the bill, so to speak.
That's what they done. They put him down as an employee, and they paid him a monthly wage, and that is like gold dust. Anyone that does that for these guys will be more than a.
So there's an opportunity. Well, out of 2 of the guys that we've got here, so you've got Eithan that's a little bit further up the pyramid, so to speak, and then we've got Charlie that's got a few years behind Eithan, but certainly following in his footsteps.
Yeah.
So to come back to Charlie's pyramid, if you like, where are you at the minute in terms of that area, and then national? Does it go?
Yeah, so because I've only had 3 professional fights, so I'm just still building. We're gonna go into 6-rounders next and get some more rounds in and things like that. And then we'll probably look onto the area, probably area or English around that level. Yeah.
And will that be back into this year?
Yeah, I'd like to think by the end of this year he's in position to box for at least the area title. That sort of depends on how many 6-rounders we can get into him and how he performs in them. So as long as he develops the way I believe he can, we would like to be boxing for the area title by the end of the year, and then the end of the next year you sort of look in English or developing.
I don't know if this has happened to either of you, where a fight's been pulled by the opposition, maybe like you've got to camp and you sometimes hear about it in the press, and I always feel for both fighters because no fighter goes into camp wanting to pull out, but usually because of injury, maybe through sparring or whatever, they have to pull out. Has it ever happened to either of you?
I'm telling you, right, so we've got some stories. No, he had an opponent pulled out because he got nicked on the way to the weigh-in, so we had to get a new opponent.
The day before the weigh-in.
And then 2 fights later...
Hold on a minute, I need to hear that. Eithan, tell me about that.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure it was down in London. I was fighting. Was it? It was in lockdown. It was in COVID, wasn't it? Yeah. So it was.
Don't mention names though.
No, I won't. I'll keep it quiet. But we were fighting behind closed doors, and obviously we went down there. They put you up in a hotel. You got to make weight the day before on all these big shows, and you didn't actually tell me. I don't think you actually.
I didn't
told
want to
me
tell him because I
day.
didn't want to worry him. Right, so his opponent was on the way to the weigh-in, and everyone's going, well, where is he? He ain't weighed in. So we weighed in anyway, and I went, let's just get out of here, sort of thing. And then it was like, he didn't turn up because he's been arrested. He ain't coming. He can't fight. He's in nick. Like that. And we're going, what? So I didn't want to tell him, obviously, he's made weight and put the panic of fear of God into him. Oh, we need to solve this problem fast. We've got to fight, sort of thing. And amazingly, the matchmaker's done a good job and got somebody else to step in at short notice.
Yeah.
And then I only told him after.
Yeah, after the fight.
Well, not after the fight.
Was it after
when you knew the other guy was coming out the corner and going, well, that ain't the guy.
So that leads me on. I'm not going to ask what he was nicked for, but that leads me on to another thing. How much tactics come into your opposition? So again, football or rugby, you'll check out the opposition for set pieces, etc. How much time would you put into a fight in terms of the opposition, knowing them?
Obviously, I like to watch them and get to know a bit about them, but then everything changes on fight night. It's not, you can go in there with a whole game plan of how you're going to approach the fight, and then within 30 seconds, that whole game plan goes out the window. It's like, well, he's not doing what I thought he was going to do.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. I'm a big fan of, like, I go in there and I adapt to what's in front of me, and that's how I like to go now. I watch a little bit of them, see what they are good at, but then ultimately you're in there and everything can change, and you just got to be able to adapt to what's in front of you.
Yeah, because if you
Not every boxer will be like that though.
Not every boxer will
Some
be like
boxers
that.
will like to be.
But
Not everyone can adapt as good as me.
Yeah, so where I come from as a coach is you need fighters that can adapt. Because if you think, well, we're going to study this guy, watch his last 10 fights, his coach also knows what mistakes he makes, and they're trying to rectify them the whole time as well. So we do have a little look. We identify some...
So I notice you've got a camera here, so you obviously record sparring in here, and then do you do some analysis work upstairs after?
I do a lot of watching it when people are not about. I'll go and sit on the sofa in there, and I'll make my own little notes on my phone, and I'll try and address things without pinpointing it all the time to the fighter. I will say things like, "Oh, you're doing this. Let's try and correct that." But a lot of the time, I try and correct it without them knowing, because they overthink things. He's a little bit different because he's quite an intelligent fighter. I know he's sitting there and it's easy for me to say, but they're chalk and cheese. He can think about things. He
Hang
can.
on, Charlie, there's a compliment coming here, mate.
Yeah, he doesn't need to be thinking. He just needs to be doing. When he's doing and not thinking, he's brilliant. And
That's because you're almost like you're in.
He's
Charlie's,
in a flow. He
yeah,
gets
he's
in a flow and he's in total
yeah.
control. Where he can adapt, he changes, he thinks about things. Where once he's been him, he's almost impossible to deal with. His style, his flow, he moves naturally. He makes some adjustments as he's going without even knowing. Where Eithan, he can sort of adapt.
Okay, so we're coming towards the end now.
Yep.
Team ShoeBox, you got 10 pros, 40 odd amateurs, 100 plus recreational.
Yeah, we work in schools as well.
Yeah.
So we go around and deliver classes at a number of schools, Northampton College. We're chatting with the university as well at the moment.
Yeah.
We've got a partnership with Trilogy Gym. Just around the corner. We work with Mercedes at Brixworth. We go and deliver sessions up there.
Tell us about that, because I thought that was really good what you did for them.
Yeah, so we've had a quite a long relationship with Mercedes. We put 2 sessions a week on up there, and now the students that come here, we want to expose them to everything, not just boxing. So although they're coming here on an academy scheme and they want to be boxers, not everyone's going to make it. So when they leave here and they've done their course, there'll be a level 1 coach. They'll help us with some of our community classes for work experience. Mercedes at Brixworth, where they make the engines for the F1 team, they've allowed us to do some work experience there. And yesterday we went up there for a little tour, show them the workings of the place. They're really community based as well, Mercedes, and they're trying to become even more. I think they're a really good partnership for us as well. They've got the same mindset. So it's about helping the community, but it's all about winning. So it's a really good mindset.
So what does the future look like for Team ShoeBox over the next 2 or 3 years? Is it, 40 professionals, 80 amateurs, 200 recreational, or isn't that sustainable? Because I'm conscious as well that whilst this is very impressive,
Yeah.
You're going to run out of space soon.
Yeah, we're already overcrowded, to be honest. So where we are at the moment is 10 professionals is tight. That's tight. It's borderline because we need to get in more staff, really, whether that be professional coaches, amateur coaches to help with the amateur team. But remember, all the coaches are volunteers. The only time I ever get paid is if a professional does well. I don't get any money through the amateur time that I spend at all. It actually costs me money and my missus goes mad at me. So, but that I see that as an investment because out of those 100, if 10 of them go pro, that's where your next one will become a champion. So you've got to put the time in, the groundwork in, and then you've got the 100 there. And if you can develop 10 into being quality amateurs, 2 come through and be quality pros, 1 becomes a champion. That's where
it's a numbers game. So there's so many similarities with business, in terms of the variables and the different strategies that you have to go through in and outside, obviously, of the ring. I think what you do is great, and I think you're definitely a credit to the county. So we're going to follow your journey, gents, for sure. And I hope that some of the businesses that are watching this will get involved with James. And I hope to see some of them logos on your shorts or whatever going forward, or maybe next time we come in here, there's a few more logos on the wall.
Or maybe if anyone wants to sponsor us, please.
Maybe if anyone's got a spare unit or downsizing, got half a unit that we could turn into a bigger premise, bigger gym. And
there's a couple of people that just thinking, now that I've seen this for myself, there's a couple of people that I'm thinking of that I could definitely introduce you to for a conversation. So like we do with all of our episodes of the podcast, which I'm sure you've watched in the past, I always like to end with dinner guests. All right, so you two have got a little bit of a head start on this because I'm going to put James under it first. So tomorrow night is you and 3 people, 3 others, past or present, don't matter who they are, who are you inviting for dinner, and which restaurant in Northamptonshire are you taking them to?
Oh, so I've got to go restaurant. Right, I was on Northampton's radio last week, right, and they done this dinner thing. There's a dishes or whatever. They'd done this.
The same thing?
Not this.
Oh, okay.
It was like I got to choose food and all that, and we ended up like going down the road, and I was like, I don't know what to do because I'm not really a massive foodie. Although I have started like getting recipes, and me and another coach are trying to lose a bit of weight, so we're trying to stay a bit healthy. But so dinner guests, I reckon. I know this is going to be a bit of a curveball there, Jesse Owens.
Yeah.
The Olympian.
Yeah.
I'm fascinated. So probably Jesse Owens, Mickey Flanagan, just so we can have a laugh as well.
One of I can't tell his favourite joke on here. YouTube would take it down.
Mickey Flanagan, so we can have an absolute belting laugh, and then
one more.
Well, another one. Okay, let's go. Neil Armstrong, because I want to know if it was real.
Yeah,
we'll get it out of him.
So my son's been learning about this week, right? And I was fascinated by it. And a mate of mine, Damon, he's a local lad, big West Ham fan, goes home and away, and just randomly we were chatting over Christmas, and he's like, well, I don't believe it's true. I went, what? He went, no, Neil, he won't be the first one. And we started going down this, but it was completely not what I was expecting from him, and I didn't realise that people didn't think that. So you're the second person that's...
Conspiracy.
Yeah. But interesting. Good table, great table. Eithan, where are you going for your meal, mate?
There's a new smokehouse down by what's the rugby club down?
I think I know what
Hickory's.
you mean.
Hickory's, yeah.
Hickory's.
That's not long open.
Yeah.
And I went over and missed it, so I'm going there. It was very nice. I'm having Ricky Gervais because I like his comedy. He's very dark humour, and I think I'll get on with him.
If ever so I've got 2 things. If I'm having a bad day, right, I either watch Only Fools and Horses, or I watch the Ricky Gervais Golden Globes clip. From a couple of years ago, 6 minutes.
Yeah, when he just rips everybody.
And I just think that is just brilliant. And I always watch that and then feel better at the end of it. So go on, mate. Sorry, Ricky Gervais.
So Ricky Gervais, Carl Pilkington, because you got to have an idiot to just laugh at as well and take the piss out of. And then I'm trying to think who would go good with those 2. Ramesh Ranganathan, he's funny. They're all like comedians, but I feel you got to have a good laugh if you go for dinner.
Good. We've got a great table at Hickory's. And then you, mate?
I would say the new place. You know, we went in Northampton.
The Palm or the Realm.
Yeah,
Golden Horse?
because they're new.
Yeah.
They're
my
new,
pub.
and I liked it. I thought it was nice.
Where's
there.
On Welly Road.
Yeah,
What's it called?
Is it the Realm?
Used
Yeah,
to be the
yeah.
Spread Eagle.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
that'd be like a good sponsor one day.
Drop that one in.
They drop it.
I would say to have there probably, even though he didn't talk much, but Arsene Wenger. You know, the Arsenal.
Are you a
manager.
Gooner as well?
Yeah, Arsenal. Are you Arsenal?
No.
Oh,
But no. But Arsene Wenger, I love all good sports people in terms of like what they've done, and Wenger, you could say he changed the English game really when he came over.
yeah.
So you got Wenger.
Yeah, Wenger. Comedians they're talking about. I would say Bill Murray. You know Bill Murray, the comedian. You don't heard of Bill Murray?
I've watched him, but I can't remember.
He makes me laugh my head off, so he'd be there. And Roberto Duran, because that's my hero, but he don't speak English, so we need a translator there.
Well, you're not having another person.
Yeah, so you're stuck there.
Very male-dominated dinner tables there, but I love that.
Nah, it's got to be Roberto Duran. That's my hero.
Is it?
Yeah.
So, which surprises me because of your age.
Yeah.
But who? So if Duran's your hero, boxing hero, who's yours? Ethan.
Obviously, I wasn't really a big fan of watching boxing. I was just good at it, so that's why I did it. And I didn't really watch boxing growing up. Even when I was an amateur, I didn't really watch it. But a lot of people, one boxer I did watch growing up was Luke Campbell when he was in the Olympic team and everything like that. I watched him quite a bit and turning over pro. But
Is he the mayor of Hull now or something?
Possibly.
he's doing
He
something.
definitely
with
went
it.
into politics.
Yeah.
But yeah, I watched him a lot growing up, and he didn't reply when I lost my first national title. And then I sent him an email and he didn't reply. So as much as I'm giving him a shout, now I dislike him.
Yeah, but then you joined King's Eve and you was all right.
Yeah.
Kept winning.
Right, gents, that concludes this episode of the podcast. So I'm really grateful for you giving up your time. And we look forward to seeing this journey on Team ShoeBox and obviously you two as well. So all the best.
Cheers.
Perfect, thank you.